I was just curious.
Yeah, my family has been here since 1860, off and on.
Oh, wow.
And we had really hoped to bring our, to raise our girls here. It's just really difficult to find a house that's appropriate for such things. Yeah, my family has been here since 1860.
That is very true.
One day.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, can't get the volume to work. Let me figure this out here. Jeez.
Everyone's early. Cool.
Now it works.
Hey, Jordan. Dion.
You said that right as I walked away to grab my packet.
Yeah. How are you?
So I came running back. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Ready for the season to be done.
Hi, Cindy. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Don.
Oh, hi. Oh, I got to go get my packet too. Excuse me.
Everyone, I just started the live stream, just so you're aware.
There we go. Nope, I'm going away again.
Oh, everybody's on.
Come, I'm back.
Yep. Somebody's. I hear kids. Who's got kids?
I got to shut the
The mute. There you go. It's Dawn, kids. Hi, Kate. You good?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there.
You look good.
I mean, considering,
Yeah, exactly.
24 hours, so we'll see. How's everybody doing?
Good. I'm ready for ski season to be over.
Yeah.
Like
When do you guys close?
the 9th.
Okay, so
So one more week and a half. It's just so hard. Employees.
Yeah, not enough
People
of
are
them this
finding.
year.
Well, they're finding summer jobs, and you got to go take them because you don't know. So yeah, it's a tough one.
Definitely.
We got through the COVID part pretty good. Now it's
Clear Creek County did well.
yeah.
They did a good job. You guys did a good job.
Yeah. We got lucky.
Yeah.
Did a lot of the right stuff.
Well, paying attention, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what time is it? 3 minutes. Chuck, Jordan, Kate. What is mine doing here? Hi, Andy.
John, I thought you had left the office.
I was in meetings from noon till 5, and so I didn't have quite enough time.
Sorry about that. I turned your lights out.
It's all good. It all worked out.
The day
Hey,
never.
can you guys hear me? This is Rick Scott.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know if you could hear me. That's all, sir.
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, thank you.
Is Diane on here too? Yep. Okay, do we want to? Are we ready? What is the date? April 12th. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. This is the April 28th, 2021 regular meeting of the Idaho Springs Planning Commission. Can we have a roll call, please?
Nancy Olson,
Here.
Kate Collier,
Here,
John Reimer, Chuck Howard,
Chuck is here.
Dawn's here.
okay, Ursula Cruzaligi, Jordan Hudson,
Here.
Tracy Stokes.
I'm here.
Gotcha.
Tracy sent me a text. She's not going to be here.
Okay, thanks.
Chair Olson,
Yes.
sorry, I promised Commissioner Kusaligi I would make a statement on her behalf at the beginning. You know, she did not respond to roll call. She and I had some correspondence about the only business item on your agenda this evening, which is the hearing on the FDP for 1628 Virginia Street. And I know you're not there yet, but as we just did roll call, I wanted you to know that since Commissioner Kusaligi will recuse from that matter, and because that matter is the only one, I said, don't worry about coming just for the roll call. I will explain your absence and the good legal reasons for it at the beginning, so no one thinks you were being delinquent. That's why she's not here. I think Commissioner Hudson has been advised that he ascends to the throne and will fill that spot. So you got a full roster. I just wanted to explain her absence on her behalf.
Okay. Thank you. And Diane, you got all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's go to approval of the minutes. Anybody?
I'll move to approve the minutes from December 2nd, 2020.
Second? Anybody?
I'll second it.
All those in favor, thumbs up. Okay, motion passes. Okay, now we'll go into a public hearing that's held tonight. The public hearing is on the proposed final development plan for 1628 Virginia Street Townhomes. And the time is 6:02. So the public hearing is open. We'll start with the staff report.
Okay, yes, this is an application by Blue Spruce Habitat for Humanity for 8-unit project on Virginia Street at 1628. It consists of 4 buildings that are duplexes So 2 units each, 4 buildings gives a total of 8 units. There are several steps remaining in the process. For Planning Commission tonight, its responsibility under Chapter 21 of the Municipal Code is to hear and make a recommendation regarding the final development plan before you. After Planning Commission, this application will go to City Council for a hearing and a decision. In addition to that, the applicant, if the project is approved, will need to adjust some of the existing lot lines. Because this property was already platted, the project is eligible for an administrative plat, meaning it's a staff review and decision without having to go to a public hearing. With respect to the existing conditions, I'm sure most people are familiar with the site. As you may well know, is that it's a very long and very shallow site that runs most of the way, extends from 16th Street on the north, almost to 17th Street on the south. The lot is approximately 50 feet deep, but almost half of the lot is not usable for development because of the location of a wall, a large retaining wall that runs down the longitudinal or east-west center of the site. So therefore, this is a fairly constricted site in which the applicant has to work. The retaining wall, what you have to the north of this site is a shared private driveway that on many maps is identified as Wall Street. It actually is a shared private driveway. It's not owned. The right-of-way is, there isn't a right-of-way. It's not owned or maintained by the city. The road, this private driveway is about 20 feet higher than 16th Street at the front of this project. And so the height of the third floor of these units are roughly level with that driveway that's located on the, that's located to the north. To the west and the east, you have single family dwellings for the most part. To the south is the church and the Elks Lodge. So in describing the project, Habitat for Humanity has designed this with the intention of it being, or it being a workforce or affordable housing units. Again, it is 8 units, 4 duplexes for the 8 units. Each unit has its own driveway and space for several cars. In terms of getting to the hearing tonight, there's several steps that can be mentioned. Is that when Habitat for Humanity bought the property, there were 2 mobile homes on the site, which since then have been removed, and the site has been fenced in. In 2019, Habitat for Humanity applied for a variance regarding its setbacks, which was approved. There was a community meeting on this project on the final development plan in February 4, 2020. At that time, the project, at the time of the community meeting, the project was going to have 9 units instead of the 8 units that are proposed now. It was going to be 3 buildings with 3 units each. And the final step, preceding step to mention is that late last year, December of 2020, Habitat for Humanity came back for another variance on this project, which had to do with substituting compact cars for a portion of the required standard spaces. That variance request was approved by the variance board. The existing zoning is noted is R3. The surrounding zoning is also R3, except for the R1 zoning directly to the west of the site. So as I mentioned, the review process is from here, based on the decision, what you do tonight, this would then go to City Council, and then the administrative plat would need to be done if the project is approved. In terms of review criteria, for a final development plan, the criteria is, has the applicant complied with the regulations, taking into account any variances that were approved. So in going through the list that you see on page 3 of the staff report, the project does comply, the project as you see it before you tonight does comply with the approved reduction in setbacks. It does comply with the height requirement of no more than 35 feet. It's actually lower than 30, it appears to be lower than 35 feet based on the drawings. It has slightly over half the site is defined as unobstructed open space, meaning it's not used for buildings, it's not used for vehicles, driveways, parking, etc. In terms of lot size, the project easily exceeds the minimum lot size for a project in this zone district. The sizes of the dwellings also exceed the minimum size dwelling for the units based upon the number of bedrooms they have. And with respect to the parking spaces, the variance that was approved in December allowed for the applicant to substitute 8 compact spaces for up to 5 of the standard size spaces. So there actually is, taking into account both the standard and the compact spaces. Excuse me, I just got a cramp. You have to excuse me for a minute.
Hope he's okay.
Yes, sorry for that. I think it's subsided. So there actually is a surplus in terms of the total number of spaces. That variance was needed again because of the very shallow nature of the lots in this on this property. With respect to the design standards, the project from the in terms of design setting is generally has architecture that is compatible with what would have been historic residential architecture during the period of significance. The massing has been broken up into 4 duplex size units. Each building is well below the maximum length. The roofs have a minimum slope of 612 or greater. It includes various architectural elements. The carports have been incorporated into the building mass. The orientation is all buildings are directly oriented to the street, and the loading and trash are family dwellings. I'm sorry again. It's a bad cramp. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this standing up, and hopefully that works better. Referrals were sent to the parties that are listed there below. This various city staff. It was also sent to the city's consulting engineer and building official consulting building engineer. It was sent to the fire authority, to environmental health, the Clear Creek Environmental EMS. Now, I'll note, because this came up in a previous hearing, is that anyone who had not returned any comments, they were individually called, and I did follow up with an email to them. So we did eventually get comments from all the outside parties regarding the project. And as you'll see, there weren't any significant issues identified in the comments that we received. So in summary, in terms of the staff recommendation regarding the project, staff recommends that Planning Commission recommend approval to the final development plan for 1628 Virginia Street townhomes based on the findings contained in the staff reports with the following conditions. One, the applicant obtain approval of a administrative plat prior to approval of a building permit for any new building prior to any new buildings on the property. Number two, revise the site plan to show the separate water and sewer lines required by code for each independent structure. Number three, revise site plan to show all existing and city water and sewer mains and any extensions of mains necessary to serve the project. Number four, revise the site plan to include all edits and corrections directed by the city engineer. And these are shown in red text on the markup sheet at the end of the attachments. And that's the markup sheet by the city engineer. Attain city's engineer approval of these required provisions. Finally, provide written responses to questions asked by engineer on sheet C2 prior to city council hearing on the application. And that's the staff report. Do you have any questions for me?
I think let's just follow the format and then we'll go back to questions. So we'll do the staff report and then let's go to the applicants. Is the applicant here? Do we not have the applicant?
Hi, Cindy, I'm representing the applicant, and both Kathleen and Lisa are also the applicant.
Okay, who is that speaking?
This is Molly Wheelock.
Oh, hi, Molly. I don't see you on my screen. Where are you? I know, mine, I can't get it to go more than 9. How do I make it go? Okay. Hey, I wanted to see Molly. Okay, so let's go to the applicant. Molly, if you want to give your presentation.
Chair Olson,
Yes,
just do the swearing in thing real quick with Diane.
okay.
Could you raise your right hand, Molly? Do you swear the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
My apologies. I think I have a delay on my end. So I know that Mike did a great presentation of the project. We are presenting four worker housing units that are duplexes. And what we're working to provide are 8 units, 4 different buildings. And we're working to provide homes that are reflective of the character of the area while providing a bit more density. And also providing, our hope is to provide a little higher energy efficiency to reduce bills for the clients or for the homeowners down the road. And we're also working to maximize the green space, maximize views for anybody behind by how we've situated the homes and creating carports. So all of the buildings all of the cars should fit in the carport, except for maybe an additional 3rd car for some of the homeowners. We think that will really help to clean up that very visible site. And also with that being so centrally located, it's going to be just a great amenity for the homeowners to be so close to town. Hopefully they're not driving too much and adding too much traffic. That being said, all of the parking is off the street, off of Virginia Street. There's no street side parking. And the buildings are also designed to create a, sorry, I'm losing my spot in my notes here. Sorry, I think that's the total of my presentation for kind of the goals from the architectural standpoint. We're really working to fit into some of the existing Victorian without being copycat Victorian, and kind of providing some more modern detailing and energy efficiency at the same time. Kathleen or Lisa, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
I know is that it for the applicant then? Okay, so let's go to public comment. We'll limit this to 3 minutes. From what I understand, Diane's got 3 public comments and she'll keep track of the time. Diane, I'll let you call them
Okay,
since you've got the list, and then state your name and your address for the record.
the first
Okay,
one
Jen.
is, the first one is Rick Scott.
Yes, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Just
Can you hear
fine.
me? Okay, hey, thank you very much. Rick Scott, 1548 Wall Street. I'm the last house on the east end of Wall Street before you head down 16th Street. At the meeting about December of 2020, it was around there, the last meeting at City Hall.
Can we take a moment? Diane, you need to swear him in.
Rick, you
Yes,
raise your right hand.
yes, yes, I got it up. Can you see me?
Do you, no. Do you swear the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay. We brought this up at the meeting at City Hall. It's been a while ago. I think it was around December 2020, about the condition of 16th Street as it comes down from Wall Street and it goes through the intersection of Virginia, and then it heads on past the Elks, just west of the Elks and into Colorado Boulevard. Well, in the winter when it snows, this road is very treacherous. I've slid all the way into Colorado Boulevard more than once in the years I've lived here. And the intersection at Virginia and 16th Street, although we don't have a stop sign because we couldn't have stopped anyway, there is a stop sign on each side of 16th at Virginia Street. But that doesn't mean people are going to stop there. They don't. So we can't stop. If somebody was going to be in that intersection, say if kids are going to be playing around there, which they probably will be. I love kids, but don't get me wrong. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But we can't stop in the winter if there's snow on the ground there. That's at Virginia and 16th. So it's not really a matter of if somebody's going to get hurt. It's a matter of when, because you know that kids will be playing around there because there's not really a whole lot of place for them to play in the townhouse area. I don't know how big the yards are, but I'm sure it's not big enough to ride their bikes and everything. Okay, and the other thing is are there going to be sidewalks in front of the condos so people can walk safely and not have to walk in the street? And now the parking variance, I know they went for compact cars, but is that just on paper so they can pass the variance? I mean, is there actually going to be parking there for them? And am I getting out of time here already? Okay.
You
now
got
how come
23 seconds.
Okay, why are we building everything around the downtown area of Idaho Springs? Clear Creek County has all kinds of building area, and there's a bus that runs through the county that can bring people here. We're starting to look like Frisco here, and it's not very good. The quality of living for the people that live in Idaho Springs has gone down, and we've had 5 years of construction between I-70, the Twin Tunnels, 13th Street, curbs, water, sewer. How about a break for everybody so we can get our sanity back? Thank you. I have more,
Okay.
but I'm out of time.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, thank you. Bye. And 3 minutes wasn't that long. 5 minutes would have been better.
You did good.
Thank you.
Okay.
The next on the list is Walter Cass.
Walter, are you there?
Do you swear the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Do.
Thank you.
You bet.
State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Walter Scott Cass. I'm at 1600 Wall Street. I'm right next to Rick.
we're neighbors. I share some of the same sentiments that Rick share, and I think that the process, I mean, all of us agree it's a great idea, and it's something that certainly all of us support. My concern is it seems like there's a big rush to try to get this thing through the gauntlet all of a sudden after a lot of inactivity. And Mike, I'm not certain about if those opinions were solicited out to the community or whether it was just within the city ranks itself. But I don't remember seeing any paperwork come by my way. I mean, I get the water bills and everything else without any sort of a interruption or, you know, issue. And I guess my big concern is that when we did discuss this, it didn't seem like the plan was 100% set. And there were a lot of variables that did concern many of us. One of which was the parking. There were some thoughts about where the parking would be, and they didn't seem like they were completely thought through, that there'd be a series of steps behind the building. And I thought that was pretty dangerous for whoever had to park there during the winter at the time. My concern is about the space, the sprawl, also the neighbors. What, you know, when we look at some of the individuals who will be taking the units, will there be any sort of guarantee about, you know, will it be music? Will there be dogs? I think it is pretty chaotic right now. And I kind of concur with Rick that when you come up to those stop signs, if you are coming down that street, it is pretty dangerous. And my concern too is for the well-being of a young child that might not be paying attention. But it's pretty treacherous. So the other piece I'm kind of concerned about is the element of the timeline, because it doesn't seem clear to me. And with the timeline, I think the next steps need to be more specific. I hear a lot of the data and the points that are given. I mean, it sounds like it's been thought through pretty well, but when you really look at the lots and you go there and you visit it, there's a lot of spatial constraints, and it's become a very highly dense area. So really kind of drawing things to a close, I just wish that the council would take more time to look through these things and for us to kind of look at some of the other aspects rather than saying, hey, it checks this box. And as a result of which, that means it's a project that's a go. And the other pieces obviously are the sewer, the hookup, all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, I'm concerned about the density issues and the safety. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe next, Christina, sorry if I murder your name.
No problem.
Winke?
Winky.
Winke.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I apologize. I can't seem to turn my video on, but I'll raise my right hand.
Do you swear the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay,
So-
please state your name and address for the record.
Yep, my name is Christina Winke and I live at 1606 Wall Street. That would be the only house that's directly behind this project build. And I have definitely some concerns with the pitch of the roof line and where exactly the viewpoints will be. You're saying there was plans to not obstruct any of the view for the houses behind. That's still going to be putting 8 new families at the same level as, you know, my living situation. That's a lot of new people to be introducing into this small of a space. I agree with Rick and the last fellow that spoke. We're all neighbors. We all share the super steep 16th Street. And with their concern, in addition to that, my driveway wise into 16th Street. So not only do I have to come down that pitch at the same velocity as everyone else on Wall Street, but I have to be turning on that pitch. So it really does concern me that there would be buildings that close to the driveway where every single time in the winter, if the snow is piled up, even in a 4-wheel drive vehicle, you still slip out on my driveway. with that concern added in with the 16th Street and now my driveway, as far as the safety concerns of getting down, this building's going to create a lot of shadow on my property. I do rely on a lot of that solar energy just for my own heat and my own plants and everything in my yard to grow. But putting up another building that's less than 35 feet tall would create a huge shadow on my driveway, creating an even worse situation. That's also a historical road. I want to know that's on the property of the project proposed. I want to know how it's going to be maintained with my driveway being there as part of that wall, and the historical aspects of it. I bought my house and a super proud homeowner here in Idaho Springs. And I love the community. I love the historical properties of it. And I also love the gem of our little town. And to open it up to 8 new families, that would be a lot of influx. And it does seem rushed to me. And there's a lot of questions that I would be concerned about as far as the driveway, the stop signs. I mean, I see people run those stop signs all the time, and how we're going to integrate this amount of people into a small space in such a short amount of time.
Okay, thank you, Christina.
Yep.
Okay, now we'll go into any questions for the commissioners, for the staff, or the applicant. I'll start with the first question I had was, and it's probably to Mike, the water and wastewater, you have a note in here, needs the water and sewer lines, the replacement of them.
Yes, this refers to the, I'm sorry, finish your question. Sorry.
No, that's what I'm asking. What does that mean?
What that refers to, it's not referring to the mains that are in the street. It's referring to the 2 trailers are there, have existing hook. The 2 trailers that used to be there had water and sewer hookups to each of them individually. Now that they're going to be proposing to put in the 4 buildings, they will need to run new lines from the main into the building. So it's not referring to mains, it's referring to the lines that actually serve the house from the main. And that's normal.
Right, and that's a cost on to the developer, right?
Yes, it is. Both in terms of tap fees and in terms of the construction cost.
Okay, and then the other question I had was the concern with the stop sign. Was that looked at in a traffic analysis? Not so much a study, but is that something that was looked at? I read through all this, I just don't remember seeing it.
It's not mentioned in I don't believe it's mentioned in the traffic impact analysis that was submitted and reviewed by the city's consulting engineer. Maybe I could ask Andy, because I know there's sort of a history of concern. Concerns have been raised about the street. But before turning to him, though, I'll mention is that when the community meeting took place on the project, the applicant was originally going to put a parking lot up on the portion of Wall Street that they own. Since the community meeting, one of the major changes they made in the project was to eliminate that parking lot so that the traffic comes in and out of those homes will not have to go up or down Wall Street.
Yeah, but they don't own any of that.
I'm sorry, up or down 16th Avenue. Since they're no longer going to be parking cars on their land.
There's a parking lot up here on Wall Street. Have you guys even left your fucking houses?
Okay, somebody's talking in the background. I can't really hear it. So Mike, what you're saying is, okay, I'm looking at it. They come up 16th. Are they parking on the front side of it or the back side of it?
Well,
the elk side or the upper side?
Well, for this project, they're not parking on 16th. They would be parking on, they all have individual driveways. when this project was shown to the community meeting, a block north of Virginia is where the private shared driveway that's called Wall Street is. The community meeting saw a site plan that showed a parking lot located on the north side of Wall Street. The applicant deleted that, so there wasn't a need for any traffic from this project to have to go up or down to Wall Street to get in or out of the project. And further, because Virginia is to be a one-way street going westbound, there shouldn't be anyone turning southbound onto Virginia Street.
When was that determined that Virginia was becoming a one-way?
Is already.
Only at one
16
portion
and
of it.
17.
May I speak?
Sure. Hi, Molly.
I feel like hi, this is Molly Wheelock speaking again. I'm sorry to have lost the public commenters because I think that maybe there's some confusion happening with how this is being presented. We did originally have access up on Wall Street, which is owned in part by Habitat. That private drive is actually owned, is actually an easement across the property. Because of the community meeting, and for many reasons, it's entirely valid, the 16th Street issue. We moved all of the parking onto the lower level and off of any street parking. We've also proposed bollards along 16th so that any sliding that we know will happen would hit bollards or some other structural fence so that there's no sliding down onto the property. There is an issue of some shading. There won't actually be shading up on Christina's property, but there is shading on the road on the lower level there. That is an issue. It's a private drive. It's something that would have to be negotiated, I think, between Habitat and the homeowners, but it's not at all going to have any use from the homeowners in terms of parking or access. There's no access to the buildings on the backside there. So we've really tried to hear those concerns. It's too bad that some of the other folks have gotten off because I think there's some questions about density and timeline that we could address as well. But we really took to heart everything that was said at the community meeting and hope we've addressed that in the plan, the new plan.
And thank you, Molly. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I do. So no, I just want to verify. So no parking up top on what you guys are calling Wall Street. Just
yes, that's correct.
None.
What about the retaining wall? Is a big deal. So is that something that's going to be entirely replaced by the project developers?
So there's two retaining walls. There's the lower retaining wall that's kind of a hodgepodge over the decades. That's going to be fully replaced. Up above that is a more historic Cornish dry stack mining wall. Well, it's not really dry stack anymore. It has, it'll be maintained. It actually has some repointing that needs to be done, but that will be completely maintained throughout the project.
Thanks, Molly. That's awesome. And my last question is kind of like just in general for everybody. Everybody knows this Wall Street. I mean, it's famous for its, its challenges. One of the questions I have, rather than have the stop sign where it currently is, why wouldn't we have it up on the flatter part of the street, which gives you a pause before you come down that more treacherous slope? I think it could probably solve a few of the issues of coming down and trying to stop. I mean, you can't even really stop in a summer's day, so I can understand the concern. But if we move the stop sign, which is, it's our road, we can certainly do whatever we want, it would give people a bigger pause than they have right now.
So you're saying add a stop sign?
Well, I mean, there is a stop sign eventually, but I'm talking have one right up top.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but right in front of Rick's house, I mean, that's where I stop, just to make sure that, I've got somewhat control when I'm going down that road. I mean, if it has to be 2 stops, then that's fine too, right? One at Virginia and one up top.
Yeah, I mean, that's something Mike can address with them at that point.
Yes, I could follow up with the city's consulting engineer regarding that specific point.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I had, guys.
There were several other points that were brought up by public comment. Did you want a response to those other comments?
Sure.
Okay. With respect to comments from Public Works, the comments came from the Public Works Director, and he wound up providing both the street comments and the water and sewer comments for the Public Works Department. I think we've already talked about what's occurred with respect to the parking. With respect to the time frame, the public notice for this final development application was sent to the newspaper several weeks ago, and the sign was posted and the letters were mailed, and it included also the date of the city council meeting. So if any member of the public would like to make further comment, that date has already been scheduled, and that was included in the notice that was sent to surrounding property owners. With respect to some issue was raised regarding views. If you look at this project at the drawings, if you were standing on Wall Street, the shared driveway that's above this project, and you were looking straight out to the south, what you'd be seeing is something that would look like a one-story house, because these proposed buildings are 3 stories tall with parking on the first floor. And the third floor, the top floor in these buildings is roughly equal or slightly below the level of Wall Street. So what someone would be seeing from Wall Street are the homes that are on the north side of Wall Street is the equivalent of a one-story home, which typically you don't see a lot of one-story homes being built within the city. And then there were questions that were raised regarding noise and so forth in terms of residents. They would be obviously subject to the same rules and regulations that all citizens in town are accountable for.
Thank you. Is there any other questions for staff or the applicant? Okay, with that, we'll close the public hearing at, where's my clock? 6:41 p.m. Okay, any discussion among the commissioners or moving to a motion? I think the thing to keep in mind is what we're approving and if it meets the criteria. And like Mike was saying, the public does have the opportunity to comment again at the city council meeting. And what's the date on that?
It's a week from this coming Monday.
Okay, I mean, just in case there's people listening, let's give them a date on that.
Okay,
I think that's the 10th.
Yes, I think that's the 10th, yes.
Good.
Will that be an ordinance?
No, I believe the city does resolutions for zoning type matters.
Okay, so we're looking to approve the final development plan for 1628 Virginia Street Townhomes. And then it'll move on to council. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the final development plan for 1628 Virginia Street Townhomes.
I think you should look at the motion that was written because it's got some
Sorry, guys, I couldn't find it.
contingencies on it.
If Kate just wants to motion to approve the motion in the staff report She doesn't have to repeat the whole thing.
Is that okay?
Yes,
That'd be
As,
good.
as proposed in the staff report, I'll amend it to that if that's okay.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, do we have a second?
I will second that.
Okay, thank you. And we'll do a roll call.
Cindy Olson,
Yes,
Kate Collier,
Yes.
John Reimer,
Yes. Yes.
Chuck Howard,
Yes.
Jordan Hudson,
Yes.
okay, the motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, everybody, for presenting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, our next agenda item is just the community development planners project update. Mike?
Yes, this is just the monthly report that we give you regarding what activities and projects that Barb Cole and I have been working on. So I can answer any questions you might have regarding the specific items.
At this time, I don't have any.
Nor
Does
do I.
anybody else?
No,
Nobody?
no.
Okay, with that, we'll adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Good day.
Nice
Feel
to see you,
better, Kate.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.